Tribal Health and Human Services Department of the Confederated Salish and Kootenai Tribes is proud to present Good Medicine, a program dedicated to the wellness of the Flathead Nation. The mission is summarized quite simply: a healthier people, a stronger nation. We will strive to make Good Medicine a reliable source of ideas and information about health issues so that everyone can make informed decisions about their own lifestyle and health care. You will meet health professionals, tribal government and spiritual leaders, and interesting people from the tribal community discussing important health issues that profoundly affect us all.
Hi, this is Good Medicine. I'm your host, Larry Pitts, and just to get started today, I wanted to put some rumors to rest. The Jerry Brown has told us that he thinks that I'm the reservation Arsenio Hall, and we know that's not true. So we lay that one to rest just to get started. Today we have on our program our project, Protect Our Children project people, and we have Dana Tenas and we have Janine Barnaby, and we'll have a couple of other guests later on. Do you want to say hello to anybody, ladies?
I'll say hi to Nissa, Leela, Alicia, Susan, Amanda, Derek, Jordy, Kate, and Adrian.
Now, are you sure you didn't miss any of the kids?
I could get my nieces and nephews, but no.
No, that'd be enough. Janine, how about yourself?
To my kids, Melissa, Michael, Nick, and their dad, Mike.
All right, now we did some family PR there, so now we can get back to our program, let's say. Dana, let's start with you today. Protect Our Children project. What is it? How did it get started? Just give us some background, would you?
Originally, it started being pretty much just parent support groups, and it's branched off into parent support groups and home-based services. It started with I think 2 employees before we were on, and it's just kind of grown and grown and grown. We now will have 6 parent support groups in 6 communities. We also do home-based services in homes with maybe the parents don't want to go to group or maybe need extra support instead of just group. All right.
Janine, what do you mean by home base? What's that mean? I mean, I'm sort of new to this. I'm sitting here going, home base, is that the place where you play baseball and you hit the baseball or what?
We go into the home, we get referrals from different parts through the tribe, like the Tribal Social Services, the WIC, nursing, Department of Family Services, the court. They give us referrals and we go into the homes. We pick up on the referrals and we go into the homes. And we do one-on-one parenting issues, and what we do in the home is we try to focus on their parenting skills. And parenting is a skill. A lot of parents think that you just know how to parent, that it's just natural, but it's a skill that we learn and we pick up. And so in a lot of cases, we pick up our parenting skills, and a lot of people don't want to parent like their parents parented them and want to change different things. And so what I say is to parent our kids and teach them how to survive and thrive in the society in which we live today.
Okay. So what I'm sort of hearing from you, though, you're trying to teach people ways of breaking some of the old patterns that they were raised with?
Yes.
And how do we do that?
You can build on not only just changing their past behaviors or behaviors they've learned, but also building on the positive ones and expanding on the positive ones. It's a better way to put it than breaking old habits or whatever. It's because we do build on a lot of positive things.
So you work on encouraging and okay. What else do you want to talk about that? I mean, with that, I mean, we're just touching the model here, and
we're based on, when we do our support groups, we're based on Parents Anonymous, and we do their format.
Okay.
which means we do an educational piece, and then we do a sharing piece about how your parenting week went, what worked and what didn't, and what more would they like to learn on discipline is a big thing. How to discipline your kids. And
how do we discipline our kids?
there's different styles, love and logic, there's different trainings that we go to learn different teaching styles to discipline our kids, and a lot of people today still believe in spanking. And so we touch base on different areas, a timeout.
So it sounds like communication a little bit to me.
We just try to give a lot of different options. I mean, there's not, people think of like just spanking as the only way to discipline your child.
Right.
And there's a lot more options, so we try to show all the options, and we don't say one is better than the other, but for the more options and choices are given, it's a lot easier.
Sort of you build a pool that people are able to pull out what is appropriate for that situation, basically?
I think so. And then what's good about the groups is that, what might have worked for me might not work for somebody else, but somebody else in the group, through all of our experiences, might have been able to come up with a
collaborative together and find out what works. How does this work in outreaching areas, Dana?
Well, we have groups in Elmo that it has been going for quite a while, and they're going to start one in Arlee, a parent support group, and I'm hopefully going to start one in Hot Springs.
Okay.
We also will do home-based services, which is going into the home and visit when we can.
How does that referral system work? Because you said that was on a referral system. Can somebody in the who feels like they're having a problem parenting refer themselves into you guys, or do they have to go through mental health or social services? Or?
Self-referrals, and actually self-referrals are funner, more fun, because they're more at a place that's like sending in, an alcoholic. You're going to treatment, and unless they're ready to work on issues, it's easier if you're ready to work on those issues. And people that self-refer themselves to parenting or to our project.
Are there any qualifications or any way that you can or cannot be accepted into the program?
No, there isn't. Just wanting to learn more about kids and to learn to respect them as human beings. Okay.
Well, my paper down here, Janine, says that to ask you what are the hours and the times and the places that people can access this program, this project.
You can call our office. It's the 1-800 number.
1-800-823-8228?
Yes.
Okay.
And ask for Protect Our Children Project, and they will let you know the times. And
do you offhand know any of the times in the communities? Or?
It's in St. Ignatius. It's at the old ASAP building from 6:30 to 8:30.
On Tuesdays.
On Tuesdays, and on Mondays in Ronan, it's at the new Head Start office in the alley in the back door.
Behind Dairy Queen. Okay.
It's from 1 to 3 on Mondays in Ronan, and in Polson it's from 2:30 to 2 to 3:30, and at the Polson Head Start.
Okay. Now, where can they find the Head Start in Polson?
It's on 7th and 1st, I think.
7th and 1st is at the basement of
the Senior Citizens
Center
on Mondays.
All right.
And Elmo.
Okay.
Thursdays at
6:30
to 8:30.
Okay. Well, we got through that just a little bit of a struggle, but that's okay.
We're busy people.
That's right. What do you guys think of your job?
I love my job. It helps me with my own kids. I have a lot of kids, and
obviously we heard that.
I like it. I don't have to sit at a desk. I'm in my car. I have my cell phone, and off I go.
Okay. And you find it, as you said, it's helped your parenting with your children. What's changed?
I pay more attention. I have to pay more attention to what I do, and when I do blow it, I have to pay attention to it. Where if I wasn't having to do this on a day-to-day basis, I could have just walk away from whatever I blew. And now it's like when I'm not paying attention to everything, I really think about it and have to change what I'm doing.
So it's made you more aware, which helps sort of your credibility, I would say, as a in the project itself, because people look at you as an expert. But you do have times when you get angry at your children?
I hate being called an expert.
Okay. Do you ever get angry at your children?
Oh, no. I no.
Okay. I knew you
Never
were an angel.
happens.
Janine, how do you like your job?
I like my job. I started parenting support groups before I started working. I started in the grassroots. When it first started out, I went to parenting.
Okay.
And then Irene came up and said, Janine, do you think you want this job? And I thought, oh no. I didn't really have confidence, so I grew in this job.
Okay.
And the parent support group really helped me to believe in myself.
Okay. Do you think that's part of parenting, is growing into being a better parent?
It's changing. I mean, the minute you figure out your 2-year-old, she's 4. You know, everything changes and the problems change. I mean, the problems I had when I first started this program are, you know, potty training and getting them off the bottle and that kind of stuff. And now it's like other issues. I mean, I got a 3rd grader, a 2nd grader, 1st grader, and 2 kindergartners. So things change.
Well, I heard a man on the talk show one time talk that we don't raise any of our children the same, because our oldest child is an only child when they're our first child, and then we have a second one, so now you have 2. How would you address that?
Every child is different, and everything isn't going to work for just one person, you know. We're not molds.
All right. We all have our own personalities, don't we? And so, what do you think of your boss, Irene Lake?
See,
She's
Brown knows it right now. You guys got a chance to look up good here, ladies.
no, Irene's great. She's she's able to. She's a good supervisor, and when I'm making a mistake or something, or need to work on something, she's able to help me work through it without making me feel bad, and allowing me to see the what does it call it, the like a place for growth or something instead of like a negative aspect. And I like that, you know, because it doesn't make me. It's like the same thing we can do with our kids. She kind of does that with us.
That's good. Janine, do you like your boss?
She's okay.
She's okay. Well, she's going to be on the show after our break here. So, ladies, I want to thank you for the time that you spent with us here today. It's been informative, and we're going to take a break now for the Let's Ask Marjorie segment of our sessions here. And so, thank you, and we'll see you at work someday.
Okay.
It's now time for our Let's Ask Marjorie segment, and we're here with Marjorie Bear Don't Walk, and Marjorie, you look nice today.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're welcome. I'm trying to brown nose just a little bit here.
Yeah.
Marjorie, the question I have for you is, what was the results of the special session that Tribal Council had for Tribal Health on Monday? Can you elaborate just a little bit?
Well, the Tribal Council met Monday in full session and gave me what I viewed as a vote of confidence. And they are planning to hire a consultant to come into Tribal Health and Social Services, look at us, and have someone make recommendations on some of the changes that we need to make. And so Tribal Health and Human Services is going to become more efficient. And I think the problems that we've been having in terms of becoming the program for the tribe as opposed to continuing a program that existed is well on its way.
All right. So in essence, the rumor can be put to rest that we will be closed next Monday.
Right.
All right. Thanks, Marjorie.
The only rumor that can be put to rest is that Teresa had a baby boy over the weekend.
Amen. That's right. And he's healthy. All right. Thank you, Marjorie. Hi, we're back to Good Medicine, to our regular segment. We're here with 2 different ladies. This time, we lost our last 2 guests, and now we have Irene Lake, who is the director of Protect Our Children Project, and we have Rose Maestas, who is a child abuse prevention specialist. That's a mouthful. Ladies, is there anybody you would like to say hello to since you're new on the program today?
Well, I'd like to say hello to Annie Ray. She's always my example in parenting class, and to Deidre and to Mary.
All right. Rose?
Just hello to my family.
All right. Well, let's finish up, start where we finished up before we broke for the Let's Ask Marjorie segment. Rose, what do you think of your boss?
My boss, Irene Lake, she's a very understanding woman. She's gives good guidance, and she's been out there and knows what we're doing, and she's there for us.
All right. And Irene, what do you think of your staff?
I have a great staff. They're paraprofessional staff. They're willing to learn. They work hard. I trust them to go out there and do good work, and I'm really pleased and proud of my staff.
You know, a lot of people might say, well, why is Larry asking the people to ask those type of ask those questions? The reason I'm doing that is I think it's important that people who are going to be dealing with you have the confidence that you guys work well as a family, because you become a family, and that's part of our Protect Our Children project.
We do work well as a family. We do regular staffings, and we support each other in our own parenting, and we have worked well together.
And I've noticed your guys' walk, and I appreciate it. So that's the reason I was a little personal there. So Irene, what are the goals of Protect Our Children project towards parent education, towards intensive home-based services? Can you tell me about that a little bit?
The Protect Our Children project does two things. We do parent education and support, like Dana told you earlier, and we do intensive home-based services. Intensive home-based services entails going into the home and working with parents on a one-on-one basis. When we do that, we try to see parents 3 times a week. One of those times might be in a parent group. We don't work a number of hours. Sometimes it only takes a 10 or a 20-minute visit, and sometimes we might be there all day for 3 days that week, helping them with whatever's going on in their life. We try to individualize and personalize the service so that each family feels really responded to.
Okay, so you make them, they become special to you.
We build relationships with them so that we can, and they trust that we will help them with their best interests in mind.
Now, I was hearing someone talk about it earlier about you try to do the family projects around culture.
Yes, we do. We in the past we've done a Friday at the culture committee, one 10 to 3 at each culture committee, one in Elmo and one in St. Ignatius. This year we haven't done that, and part of the reason has been that because of the budget cuts, we haven't had the child care to cover for that many hours. As spring comes on, we are going to be able to pick that part of the project up again. Okay, so that is something that we're looking forward to, and a real positive. Rose, Teen Parenting Project. I hear you're involved in that.
Yes.
You want to address that just a little bit for me? Tell me so I can ask you some questions about it.
I work with the teen pregnancy, ones who are expecting and the ones who are parenting already. And I work in many areas with them through family values, setting goals, building on their self-esteem, giving them support and guidance.
Okay.
And I receive referrals on these teens through the WIC office, nursing program, tribal social services.
Do you ever see kids that come in on their own asking to learn how to become better parents?
No, I haven't. Sometimes when they go out on their own or just decide not to be involved for a while, they do tend to come back on their own. In that way, they do.
Okay.
But
so what of a resource? Do you take your project into the school systems at all, like in into Two Eagle or?
I do go to the Two Eagle School. I was assisting with the tribal health nurse and that in that area, and right now we're in the Two Eagle School doing a new. Irene, do you want to help me on this one?
We're doing a prevention of teen pregnancy project, and we're basically working with 7th and 8th grade students 2 days a week. We work with 7th graders one period, and then 8th graders the following period. And we're talking a lot about parenting and self-esteem and sexuality and those kinds of issues with kids. We're hoping to make an impact on the number of teens who are becoming pregnant earlier than they wish to.
Mm-hmm. You're trying to change the child raising the child syndrome, basically?
Mm-hmm. And then and also as part of that project and part of what Rose does, we work a lot with kids on their parenting skills. You know, if you're a kid having a baby, you might not know how to bath a baby or how to do all those basic things that we think everybody's supposed to know. So Rose works a lot with people just on teaching them some real basic child care things and some real basic parenting skills. And
how effective is this?
Well, we hope it's real effective. You know, I always tell my staff the way we're going to know if we're effective is when we're 4 old ladies and we're sitting in our wheelchairs down at the powwow and we see the kids of some of the parents that we're working with and they're parenting pretty effectively, we're going to be able to say, gee, I wonder if we impacted that. You know, prevention is an interesting thing to try to gauge. So we think we're effective.
Okay. Rose, how do you gauge your work right now? I mean, how do you go home at night and how do you feel that you've done a good day of work or you've affected somebody's life?
I ask the families I work with how I help them, and that pretty much helps me, you know, end the day. And I just take it from there.
You know, because that's one of the problems I think in prevention is finding a barometer to see where you've done positive.
We do a barometer with ourselves. We say to families, did we do something that helped, and do you wish we had done something else? And so we try to get a gauge for what we've done and then a gauge for what they wish that we would do, and we're able to adjust and personalize our services based on those evaluations.
Feedback is good.
Feedback is good, you bet. I remember going into 2 Week one time with Irene, and Janine was there at that time. And I guess the thing that impressed me was you were working on building the self-confidence of a lot of young people. Do you still do that?
We really think that in order to be good parents, that you have to feel good about who you are as a person, and that's kind of across the board, whether you're a teenager or whether you're a 40-year-old mother, that you do much better parenting when you begin to feel good and work on your own wellness and healthy attitudes. And so that certainly is a part of what we do as parenting. We do a lot of work on building those parenting skills, but probably as important as anything we do is we work on helping you feel good about who you are and looking at how you can become healthy and happy parents.
So encouragement is a big part of it.
We probably know, Larry, that we say we're the cheerleaders, and that maybe that's the most important thing that we do. We help families identify what their strengths are and what they're doing right, and then we help them look at how they can take those skills and make things more right in their family instead of concentrating on what's really going wrong. When you begin to concentrate on the positives in a family, we can see a lot of change in a short period of time.
They'll outweigh the negatives. Where do you see the future of this going?
Well, we hope to be around till forever. Of course, we don't know that for sure, but we think that parenting is something that's a big need in tribal health right now, and that there's a lot of people who are interested, who begin to say, gee, I'd like to really look at how to parent a little bit differently. And so we hope to be here for a long time.
Okay. Rose, how do you gauge yourself in your job? Is this where you want to go in the future? You enjoy it this much, you know, that it's the job that you want to continue to deal with?
I enjoy it very much. It's a bigger challenge for me. Before I came to this job, I was working with the Head Start program, littler people, and now I'm working with the teen population there, and it's very interesting, and it's I'm learning a lot from it. And what I don't know, I go out and find it and bring it back to them.
Teenagers really trust Rose.
But see, I guess that brings up another good question is, you know, I keep hearing in my travels across the reservation is, you know, our teens won't listen. They aren't going to pay attention. They're too stuck into this certain style of living. Are you able to change some of that?
You know, research will show you that the time to make a lot of change in a family is at the birth of a new baby. That's true across the board. Again, it's really true for teenagers. As they begin to parent, they begin to look at who they are as people and how they can best take care of this new little life that they are given the responsibility of. So Rose's work with pregnant and parenting teens is an important part of that.
Well, in your program, Rose, let's direct this at you again. When that child is born, are you trying to prepare the mothers to how to build on positives in that stage? Because they say what the first year to 3 years of a child's life are the most important for setting the cycle that it's going to travel through.
Building the bonding with the mother and child is very important for them. Letting them understand that it's okay to feel the fear, but there's ways to work around that and work with them, and letting them know that it's okay, and just building that trust with them.
Okay. We're starting to wind down in time, but I have a question. A young lady came in, she's 20 years old, into my fitness center the other day. She's pregnant. She's going to have her child in July, and she's scared. And I can visually see that she's scared. What do I tell her?
Tell her to call Rose. Rose will give her a lot of information. Usually when you're frightened, it's about not knowing. And so Rose can give her a lot of information about how the pregnancy is going to go, about the birth, and about how it is to bring a baby home, and sort of the adjustments, and how do you get ready to do that. So, most kids are scared. Most people are scared before they have a new baby. That's a huge responsibility. The people in my project are very helpful in that department.
And what do we say to the father?
We really like to have fathers involved, and Rose does work with a lot of fathers. We try to work with fathers wherever we can in the project. We do see a lot of kids out on in our reservation who don't have fathers, and the fathers are not very involved. And we'd like to really help fathers realize that they're an important entity in kids' lives, and not only the financial support that they give, but the emotional support that kids need from their dads makes for a much healthier child. So we try to encourage that from the teen dads on up.
I can address that part because my little boy is almost 3, and about a month ago he sat in my lap and he looked up into my eyes and he said, "Dad, you're my very best friend." And it broke my heart because it was so real, and I wanted to address that because we always talk about the woman.
Parenting is an important issue for dads to think about, and we're seeing a lot of support for that throughout tribal health. That parents are encouraged to be involved. The tribal council is very supportive in collecting child support and those kinds of things. So I think that can turn around. It's a long, slow process, but I hope that the dads out there will hear how important they are to their kids.
All right. Well, ladies, we're running out of time here. It's been my pleasure to have you on my program. Irene has been great. Rose has been awesome. And I just want to thank you. For anybody out there who's watching this program who needs their help, call Tribal Health at 1-800-823-8228. And I want to thank you for showing us what Protect Our Children Project is all about. And thank you.
Thanks, Larry.
Good Medicine is your program. We hope you watch this and subsequent programs to stay informed about your health care. And we'd like to hear from you about how we're doing. Please direct any comments or suggestions you have to us. You can reach us at